Welcome to another lesson on classifying reef creatures. In this lesson, we'll be looking at the phylum Annelida, or what's more commonly known as segmented worms. The phylum Annelida contains over 12,000 species of worms, which includes those that live on the land, such as earthworms, as well as those that live in the marine environment, such as bristle worms and Christmas tree worms, and even contains leeches, which is found on the land, in freshwater and saltwater. So annelids contain a diversity of species that range in size and characteristics. Some are small, even microscopic, whereas others can grow large, over 3 meters in length. Some are free-living, like the earthworms and fireworms. Others live in tubes, such as Christmas tree worms. Some are suspension feeders, feeding on particles in the water, whereas others are scavengers, herbivores, and even predators. But all annelid species do share some key characteristics, which is what makes them annelids. They have an anterior end, or a head, a posterior end, or a tail, and a segmented body called a trunk. Annelids are also bilaterally symmetrical, which means if you cut them down the middle from the head to the tail, each side would be the same. In the marine environment, most annelids fall into a class called Polychaetes. So let's have a look at Polychaetes closely. So Polychaetes, such as this one, are the largest group of annelids and are comprised of over 10,000 species. These are the marine segmented worms and can be found in all marine habitats, from deep ocean trenches to hydrothermal vents and all over coral reefs. Many burrow under the sand, but some crawl over the sediment and other surfaces, and some are free swimming through the water. Polychaetes have what are known as parapodia, or small leg-like structures that they use to walk, crawl, or swim. In some species, these parapodia are large and complex, but in others, they are relatively small. And each segment of a polychaete's trunk contains one pair of parapodia. Often polychaetes have what are known as chaetes, or bristles, coming off their parapodia. You can see them on this example. And it's because of these bristles that this group gets their name. So poly means many, chaetes mean bristles, or more commonly, these types of worms are called bristle worms. In some species, the bristles are needle-like. However, in other species, they can be hook or paddle-shaped. And if we look closely at the trunk of a bristle worm, we can also see its blood pumping around. So polychaetes typically have 2 blood vessels running along the length of their body, a dorsal blood vessel on their back and a ventral blood vessel on their underside. Now, the head region of a polychaete can be quite complex. Polychaetes do have a brain that is connected to a ventral nerve cord, which runs along the underside of the worm's trunk or body. In some species, polychaetes also have antennae for sensing things in the water, such as food and other things around them. And they also have eyes. However, the complexity of the eyes change depending on the species. Some have simple eyes that can only detect light, but some predatory species are believed to be able to see images. And the mouth structure in polychaetes also varies depending on what and how they eat. Predators, scavengers, may have a muscular mouth and jaw to grab their prey, but filter feeders like Christmas tree worms have highly modified external mouth structures to help them catch particles in the water. So with over 10,000 species of polychaetes in the ocean, they have many different characteristics and appearances. However, they are all species of segmented worms, which is what makes them part of the phylum Annelida. Thank you for joining our classifying reef creatures lesson on the phylum Annelida, those segmented worms. Hopefully you all learnt something new. But stay tuned for more educational lessons from Reef HQ Aquarium, the National Education Centre for the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority.